What's up, guys? It's Nick here. Welcome to this video. You've probably clicked on this YouTube video thinking, what the heck is this title? And I have a good reasoning for it. I've eventually been able to start making enough money to where my dad is questioning whether I'm actually selling AI or drugs online. So I'm going to walk through the entire system, everything that I use in this video. Before we get started, if you're on your journey, I don't want to forget this. I am giving away 1 free month of my software, Insight AI. All you have to do is comment, like, and subscribe on this video. It's all you have to do to enter. I'm going to pick a random person. So yeah, just to show you I'm legitimate, we've done over $500,000 selling AI to local businesses. This is just one of our payment processors. We have a couple of others. We have wire transfers. We have crypto payments. So you're going to have to trust me on it. And I'm not special at all. I was just like you. I was in university and I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. And I was in business school. And the funny thing about business school is they don't teach you how to run your business. They don't teach you how to register a business. They don't teach you taxes. They teach you to be a consultant and work for other people. And I didn't want that. And if you want the same thing that I want, and you know for sure that you don't want to work a job and you don't want to be stuck in a location and have somebody tell you where to take your lunch breaks for the rest of your life, then listen into this video because this changed my life and it may change your life. So yeah, I'm going to hit a refresh once again. $520,000 so far selling AI on just this processor. Last 4 weeks, I think we've done around 50,000, and then there was a period where we did a pretty good week. $38,465 in, I think it was 9 days. So yeah, let's jump right in. I'm not going to waste a second longer. So the first thing that we're going to do before we dive into any of the specifics is we have to ensure that we're going after a niche. Okay. The biggest thing, and one of the mistakes we did in the beginning, was we tried to sell to everybody. There was no sales process in place. We were a jack of all trades, master of none, going after any business that reached out to us and their mom, even people who didn't have businesses and wanted to use the AI to start a new one. So the most important thing is you have to start with a niche. If you try and go after every single business, you have zero business experience, zero testimonials, zero proof of concept, it's going to be a lot harder than if you were to target a niche, become the master of that niche, focus everything on that niche. Okay, so I have 3 sections here. We have home services, professionals, or info products. And then under that, you have roofers, HVAC, pool openers, plumbers, electricians, construction. And then for professionals, lawyers, accountants, doctors, real estate agents. And then for info products, coaches, consultants, e-commerce, SaaS marketing agencies. And my personal opinion, the best way to go about picking a niche is the first thing that you want to look at is if you have some sort of personal connection to anyone in any of these niches. If you have a cousin who is a roofer, or if you have a friend that's a lawyer, I would go after that niche because right off the bat, even if you have to charge a little bit less for a testimonial or a proof of concept for that niche, you have one client right off the door. Okay, right out the door, you have one client. You know that you can work with them after you've established the offer. And like I said, we'll break that down. Now, that's the first thing you want to look at. Number 2, if you don't like any of these here, what I would focus on when picking a niche is going after the largest amount of volume of calls. So if a business is relying on a large amount of volume of calls, I would go after that business. A good example would be a call center. That's a really good example because they are solely reliant on calls. They have VAs that are working from the Philippines, whatever, and then they charge businesses a service to utilize those VAs. So you could come in and replace all the VAs with an AI caller. Something like that, you could charge 100 to 200K a year. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more work, and we'll talk about the offer, but yeah. Now, what are we going to sell? Okay, what is our offer? So what we're going to do is we're going to split this up into 3 pillars. We're going to be solving 3 problems in the business. We're going to be solving lead generation. We're going to be solving appointment setting, and we're also going to be solving the sales side. And the ways that we're going to do that in order to generate income for the business is we're going to be running ads on Meta and Google for the business. We're going to use the AI caller to set those appointments, and then we're going to rebuild their sales script because obviously it wasn't working if they're coming to you for help. You know, if it has been working, then we'll just refine it a little bit. And even if after the refinement process it isn't working, we're going to place a closer into their business and replace their old one because it's not working. I'm going to tell you how we're going to fulfill on this offer, so don't worry. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly how we're going to be able to do that. Now, number 3, how are we going to fulfill on this offer? So there's a couple different ways. This is an arbitrage model that I currently use for all of our clients. So every single time a payment comes through, I do 0 work because of this arbitrage method. And I hold an 80% profit margin on my business. A lot of people say, hey, Nick, I don't like this arbitrage offer because why do I have to give up some money to the client? I'm telling you, when you get to the point where you're making money and not having to do any work versus and having to give some of it up, some of it up versus doing all the work yourself and getting all the profit, it's not worth it. You are saving so much time, you have so much time freedom, you have a location freedom, because while I'm playing video games or while I'm in the gym or while I'm watching a TV show, somebody is doing the work for me, okay? And no job in the world is going to give you that. And if you want your time freedom, your location freedom, and if you want to get rich, you have to implement the model. I'm not going to lie to you. To start out, I don't recommend this model, and I'll explain why after, okay? So, arbitrage model. Step 1, you receive $10,000 upfront from the client, okay? We're charging 10 grand for this. Your client gives you money for the service, okay? Now, of that 10,000, you allocate a portion of the funds on the side to pay and fulfill for contractors, so you don't have to worry about it, okay? Then, number 3, you're going to hire a contractor. You're going to use the allocated funds to hire a contractor. And then number 4, the contractor is going to deliver the service and your client's going to be happy. Then you're going to retain profit, and the remaining and majority is in your pocket with zero work done on your end, other than a little bit of managing of the employees, and eventually you can even delegate that role as well. Now, how are we specifically going to fulfill that offer? So, like I said, this arbitrage model is good, but in the beginning, I suggest, no matter what, before I talk about how specifically we're going to fulfill, I would suggest doing all of these on your own, okay? To start, I know I just said before, it's going to take up a lot of time, but what you need to do is actually learn the process, learn the most efficient way that you are going to fulfill for your client. Just because somebody is an expert at building AI agents, phone AI agents like a developer, or just because somebody has run Facebook ads before, doesn't mean that they're going to run it properly for your business and your offer and the results that you expect for your client. The best way to teach and hire somebody is by giving them standard operating procedures for your business. Otherwise, they're going to come in and they're going to have to create it. They're going to have to come up with the system, whatever. And I'm telling you, if you're relying on a contractor to train it himself, most likely it's not going to be a very happy first 2-3 clients. It's not. You might get in, they might start asking for refunds, whatever. So if you want to avoid that, perfect the system yourself, do it once or twice, and then delegate it. Now, specifically, how to offer and how to fulfill on the arbitrage offer. So once you've signed your first 1 to 2, 3 clients and you fulfilled on your own and you understand the process, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hire a marketing agency. So the marketing agency is going to cover the fulfillment side of the paid ads for Meta and Google, okay? Now, there's a couple different options. So for $500 a month, you can get white labeled Facebook ads done. And there's this site here. There's a bunch of different white label marketing agencies you can use, but DashClicks, I've heard they have really good stuff. There's also like a Ninja something is a good digital marketing agency for that stuff. And you could go here, agencies, white label Facebook ads. And you literally just go here, you sign up with them. It's like $500 a month. You can do your research, but there's a ton of other options there for white label marketing to start out. And then the cool thing about that and hiring a white label agency is you can actually learn from them. So you hire them, you copy what they do, and then you don't need to pay them anymore, and then you pass it down to a contractor, okay? Or you can continue using them. $500 a month is pretty reasonable for a marketing agency, white labeled especially. Now, second thing we're gonna do in order to fulfill on the AI agent is we're going to hire an AI developer. Okay, so we're going to build an AI caller on Insight AI or Synthflow AI for appointment setting. So this AI caller, Insight AI, if you don't know, Insight AI is actually my company, my software. So yeah, Insight AI and Synthflow, what you can do is it's an AI agent that will actually call in the leads automatically whenever they opt in, and will continue to call them until they book in. And what you can do is you can use Go High Level and a bunch of nurturing sequences on top of the AI to actually get the lead to pick up. And the thing is, because it's AI, you can get to the phone within 1 to 2 minutes every time, and there is no issue for volume, right? Because if you have a VA, 1 VA or 2 VAs calling, if somebody opts in and they're on the phone, they can't call them. So that lead is eventually going to not pick up the phone. And let's look at a statistic here, okay? Let's go on ChatGPT. What is the % chance of a cold lead picking up the phone if you call within 5 minutes versus after 5 minutes? So let's see that. Calling within 5 minutes, leads are more likely to pick up the phone. Calling after 5 minutes, the likelihood of reaching a lead drops as time passes. If you call after 5 minutes, the odds decrease sharply. For example, a lead contacted within 30 minutes is nearly 10 times less likely to be reached compared to someone called within 5 minutes. So that's the power of getting AI to call right away, and that's why we're going to use AI developers and not just place a VA in to call. That's the old process. That's what isn't working anymore. And with Insight AI, the cool thing about it is you can actually white label. So you can slap on your logo in the top left here, and we don't charge any monthly recurring. It's just a one-time. You could change the colors, you could change the domain name, you can even upsell the minutes. So every time the AI calls, you're actually making money. And that's a recurring method on top of the 10K upfront you're charging and your monthly retainer. Now, the third way that we're going to fulfill the sales process, okay, is to rebuild their sales script or place in closers. We're going to hire a VA, or we're going to use a talent agency to place in a new closer for the business. Now, the tough thing about placing a closer into a business is if you're doing and you're working with like an HVAC or a roofer, those guys have in-person technicians. So it's a little bit more difficult to place a closer into their business because you have to find a closer within the geographical area. And there's talent agencies that do that. But honestly, my personal suggestion is for people who require an in-person sales rep to be replaced. If you're able to replace your sales rep and they're good, you could charge an extra 3-4K upfront for that on top of the offer and run ads. You run ads within the area and you say, hey, we're looking for like technician closers, on target earnings to 10 to 15K a month. And then you can learn that from the marketing agency and then place in the closer for the business. So that's a good way. I would do that as well. And then there's VAs who are ChatGPT experts and copywriting experts, and they just take and plug and place the scripts in, optimize and edit it. And it's pretty simple, really cheap, like $300 a month for a VA. Like I said, learn it yourself as well, and you can eventually teach a VA. You can get them for as cheap as $3 an hour too. So yeah, that's exactly how we're going to fulfill for all of our orders, all of our offers. Now, how much do we sell it for? So like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to charge 10K upfront for the payment. Now, after that $10,000 is charged, they're going to have 3 months of support within that period of time to help with the build, to whatever, make things more efficient, optimize the process. It's really hard to sign on a business and within months see instant results. It's not like sometimes you'll have that, sometimes you won't. It's a little bit of a difficult process. With AI especially, you might see it within a week, just because of how crazy the ads are and how quickly the client moves as well. So making your onboarding process is super efficient, and I'm going to break down how we do that as well. Now, the monthly support fee we're going to charge to build on a recurring. If the client eventually sees success within the first 3 months, what we're going to do is within the contract and on the payment link, we're going to have an auto renewal monthly support fee where we're charging 1 to 1.5K a month to continue support, continue having access to the team, to everything. Now, the good thing about this is you can build the agent and go around businesses who rely on this a lot more. For example, there are businesses who rely on scripts and offers that change consistently will need a new agent developed frequently. So even if you have one template agent built out, their price might be changing, their offer might be changing. They might have different things in stock. And if that happens, the AI needs to be maintained, it needs to be changed, the ads need to be changed, stuff like that. So what you can do is you could charge the $1,500 per month or $1,000 per month retainer to those businesses that rely solely on those drastic changes. A lot of the businesses, if you're making them good money and they see success, they're not going to want to have to learn it themselves and have to do it and whatever. So you can really take advantage of those businesses and charge and bring some recurring revenue in for your business. And then number 4, the biggest thing that people ask me all the time is like, what about ad spend? What about like software costs for using the AI? Don't worry. 99% of clients will understand that, and you can make it clear in the contract that they are responsible for covering the ad spend cost and the software cost. This 10K goes straight to your business, and that's it. And fulfilling those are your costs. The software costs and the ad costs are the client's costs. Most of the businesses you're going to be working with and the ads that you're going to be changing and eventually implementing, they're already running ads. So you're just optimizing them. You're making it better. You're actually giving them results. Okay. So awesome. Now, on this 10K offer, what are the profit margins going to look like? Let me break it down, okay? So from everything we talked about, the offer that we're selling 10K, and like I said, eventually the recurring, so I'm not even counting the recurring, you're looking at $1,500 for the white label agency for the first 3 months, right, which is all included in the 10K. A one-time charge for the developer fulfilling the AI agent, so that's build, support, and onboarding for $1,000. The VA/closer placement, so the cost for the VA is $300 a month or $900 in ads to find the closer placement. And usually recruiting agencies charge around $500 to $1,000 for a closer placement. So around $900 for that. And then you're left with so for every single client, you are left with $6,600 in profit to scale the business. That's not including recurring. That's not including the upscale on usage that you would make if you were to, example, use the Insight platform, where you make a percentage off the minutes. So yeah, that's really good. If you take a look at businesses, so that's 66% profit margins, and I'm being conservative. Like some of these costs might be a little bit less. But 66% profit margins is really, really, really good. And the reason why we have 85% is because we've been able to bring on engineers as payroll, VAs, engineers, payroll. So instead of paying $1,000 per build, we just pay him like $3,000-4,000 a month, and he does like 10 builds. So yeah. Okay, so now we understand what the profit margins, we understand what to sell it for and how much to sell it for. We understand specifically how to fulfill for our offer starting today, the arbitrage process and how to start yourself, the main offer, and then the niches that we're going to go after. Now, how are we going to actually sell this to businesses? Okay, so this is all for fulfilling for our clients, fulfilling the offer. How are we going to sell this to businesses? We are going to use Meta ads, Facebook and Instagram ads, and I'll tell you why. Because they crush. Anywhere else that you go, LinkedIn, whatever, it's going to be a lot more expensive. Meta, you're looking at $10 to $15 per lead, $150 to $200 per cost per book call, a qualified call. And if you're closing at a 25% close rate, your cost per acquisition on a $10,000 client is like $1,000 to $1,500, which is like a 9x ROAS. ROAS is return on investment. So yeah, that is really good. If you don't believe me, you could search it up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run Meta ads, and we're going to use ChatGPT in order to create our primary text prompts, in order to create the headlines, in order to attract attention on the Facebook ad. So for a Facebook ad, what you need is you need a primary text, you need a body, you need a creative. So creative is what the image is or the video, and then you need a funnel to send them to. Okay. So what we're going to do is use this prompt, create a bunch of ad scripts for me to sell my conversational AI caller to local businesses. I need a headline as well and a primary text and a good hook to keep the lead wanting more. And what we're going to do with this prompting is there's two types of ads that you can run. There is a UGC ad that you can run. So UGC is a user-generated content where you're basically just speaking to the camera. Now, the cool thing is there's two ways you can go about it. You can either record yourself talking in a studio. Okay, so you just rent out a studio, $50, you talk to the camera, you have your own scripts, whatever, or you can use AI. Now, in my personal opinion, doing it in the studio is better. Using AI is the lazy way. It's also more expensive. So there's this platform, it's called ArcAds. It's really good. But you could basically sit in your bed and create UGC videos. So let's click on this here. All right, so let's check out this video on ArcAds. This is all AI generated content as well as the edits.
Mistakes if you have an Android phone. Number one is getting too many useless emails. Number two is not being protected against spam. They are ruining your storage and productivity. Instead, try this app for free. CleanFox will block useless emails and stop spam in one tap. This is the most used email cleaner. Download it for free.
So yeah, as you can see, pretty crazy, looks superhuman. In my personal opinion, the lips don't match up very well. That's why I don't like it. I can clearly see it's AI, and it honestly just throws me off. So yeah, that's completely up to you. You could do arcads.ai, or you could just record yourself in a studio, right? Now the other ad, in my personal opinion, this is what's going to work best. This is what's going to hook the lead. It's going to go straight to the point, and it's also going to have a competitive edge and stand out compared to the competition, because there's not a lot of things like this running on Facebook that isn't conversational AI. So you could play this demo of the AI agent. You go on the Insight platform or on Sinful platform. You create the agent, the script, super easy. I have a ton of videos on my channel walking through that as well. And then just download the recording and put a little swirly box and some captions, and there you go.
You just stop calling this number. This is the 5th fucking time this week that you're calling. Okay? I'm tired of these calls.
I completely understand, Nick. The reason for my call today is to ensure that you and your loved ones have the best insurance coverage possible. Am I correct in assuming that you're interested in protecting what matters most to you?
Yes, I am, but you guys have just been really fucking annoying me.
Anyways, you get the point. So basically, it's showing a tough customer. Obviously, that's my voice. And it's hooking in the lead with the swearing, right? That's hooking in the lead. It's straight to the point. It's showing how an AI is handling a tough customer in a conversation. All these guys will show, the demo caller of a perfect conversation that never happens in the real world. And this is actually showing how the AI is able to handle the objection and continue and turn and eventually convert the lead into a booking. So yeah. These are the two ads. I personally, a lot of people are running this, but a lot of people are also running UGC, and it just doesn't stand out. So I would use the demo caller in my personal opinion. Now, we have the prompting with ChatGPT, the primary headline, we have the body, and then we have the demos that we're using. What happens once they click learn more? Where are we sending them from here? we are going to send them to a funnel. It's a very simple funnel. So it has a VSL page, a booking page with qualifying questions, and then a thank you page with a booking VSL. Now on the VSL page, we have booking business owners doing at least 50K per month, appointments at 10,000 leads per minute using our conversational AI infrastructure. We have a 25-minute VSL that's covering everything that they could possibly ask as a question on the call. In the VSL, the most important thing is you want to cover any doubts, any misunderstanding that they might have on your company. You need entire clarity, and you have to keep it engaging. You have to keep the VSL engaging, otherwise people aren't going to watch it. The main reason we want to cover everything in terms of questions, doubts on the VSL is because we don't want the sales call and the call that they're going to book to turn into a Q&A call. As soon as the business owner comes on and he's unaware of your business and he's now having his question answered for the first time, he is not on the very same call where he's gaining access to these questions going to pay you $10,000. Think about it. Put yourself in their shoes. If you saw a random ad, you didn't watch any video about them. You got face to face. You asked questions about the business. And after you asked the questions about the business, they tried to charge you 10 grand just after this new information came to light before you could even think about anything. Would you pay them 10 grand? Because I wouldn't. So you have to make sure you're informing your lead, you're educating your lead. And part of the nurturing sequences as well is making sure to give them content, give stuff away for free, give away scripts that you've used for your clients, give away statistics and data that have worked for conversational AI. Even if you don't have clients in the past, all of that is accessible online. So yeah, that's on the booking page, or on the VSL page. And then from there, they get asked a question where it financially qualifies them. If they pick anything other than B, C, or if they pick A, they will get disqualified because they're not making enough money to where we can work with them. Even B is a little iffy. So yes, if they click C, D, E, or F, then they continue through, as well as B. B is a little iffy. I would even disqualify them at 10 to 25K a month. Or if you're offering payment plans, that's a good thing as well. You split the payments for instead of 10K to 4K, 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 or whatever to make it reasonable for the business. And then from there, we're going to send them to a booking page with qualifying questions and the thank you page with the VSL. So booking page has the calendar. It asks them name, email, phone number, their website, and then explain their business a little bit. It also tells them what bottlenecks they want to be solved. And if they have $5 grand to invest minimum, because that's what we do for split payments, 5K is the lowest they can go. And then have you watched the pre-call video? We want to make sure that they've watched the pre-call video. We literally tell them if no, do not book. We did add this option because it did create a lot of friction where people haven't watched it, they click a no and they go off. So no, not yet, but I will right now. And then you'll see what we do. And do you agree to show up? Yes. Then from there, they get sent to the thank you page. Okay, and on the thank you page, it's just a professional looking video where we're thanking them for the consult, super professional looking, and then giving them steps. So watch the thank you video, then step 2, confirm the call. So they'll get sent an email to confirm the info. This is set up with Calendly. I have a video on my channel going through this as well. And then the third step is to make sure they watch the VSL once again. So that's why right here for this question, no, not yet, but I will right now is okay, because we send them right after, redirect them to the VSL. And then we actually have a triage call after this process to make sure they watch the VSL again. So yeah. Now, the problem with this, and with a funnel like this, is between the VSL page and the booking page. So once somebody has clicked on the VSL page and they go to the booking page, about 1 to 3% of cold leads are self-booking. So 99% to 97% of leads are clicking off the page as soon as they go from the VSL to the booking page. How are we going to fix this? It's very simple. We're going to use exactly what it is that we're selling. Okay, so we're going to use an appointment setting workflow with an AI agent in order to call the leads. So the first thing that we're doing is within the first 5 minutes of all the leads opting in, we're going to use SynthFlow, Vappy, or Insight AI, and we're going to double dial the AI as well as send an SMS out using Go High Level, okay? Then 15 minutes after that, we're going to send another Go High Level message to check in with them, see if they've gotten a chance to look at anything, whatever. Then we're going to send another SMS an hour later, basically letting them know we are going to call them, okay? We're going to call them to speak, letting them know what number we're going to call from, and then we're going to keep bumping it up with a 24-hour and then a 48-hour SMS. Now, within that time period, while it's being texted, right after we text, we're going to have the AI call. The AI is going to try its best to book them in, qualify, book them in, and then as soon as they're on the calendar, they're going to get sent right back to the funnel, and they're going to go through the qualifying thank you page, and the booking VSL to make sure that they've watched it and the check. They're going to go right back to this thank you page, okay? They've already skipped this step. The AI has covered this. And then At 12 hours later, the AI is going to call again, and then it's going to call 2 times a week for a month, and then once per month it's going to call. Now, within that, we're going to have nurturing sequences with emails where we're going to be sending them daily emails. And then what we also want to do is revive those leads every single month, once per month minimum, with an email blast and potentially SMS. Sometimes SMS can get a little pricey. That's why I say potentially SMS. Blasting out to a lot of people with SMS is really, it gets expensive. So this is what we're going to do. And what this does is it's going to increase our booking rate from 1 to 3% to about 10 to 13%. If you can sit at a 10 to 13% booking rate for all your leads, you're sitting at a good spot, because that's a $10 to $15 cost per lead and a $150 cost per booking. And then if you're sitting at a 25% close rate, you're sitting really good for $600 cost per acquisition. That's very good, actually. So yeah, there you go. Now, what are we going to do? So we've gotten the lead to book a call. They understand our process. We have our everything covered in terms of fulfillment. Now what happens on the sales call? On the sales call, we are going to show them this simple chart. There's a bunch of different ways that you could structure it, but you could show them this simple chart. The biggest thing that you want to cover on the sales call is remorse. If the client has agreed, you have to make sure that they're not feeling remorse towards your offer and they're unaware of what's going to happen. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set you up with an onboarding form. That form is going to give us all the info that we need in order to collect the info about your business, in order to start creating ads, in order to start editing, tweaking your sales process, as well as creating the AI agent for calling and booking in these leads. Once that's done, we are going to start creating your ads. Now, once the ads are created, we're going to send it over for review, and we're going to make them go live right away. As they're going live and after they've been reviewed, the AI caller is going to be set up, and it's going to dial all the leads that are coming through all the ads. At the same time, while the ads are going on, any old leads are also going to get called by the AI, and we're going to use SMS and email sequences inside of Go High Level to nurture them and get them to pick up the phone the next time it rings for the follow-up calls. Now, while that's happening, the copywriter is going to use AI for sales refinement, and if that doesn't end up working out, no problem. We will place in a closer and replace your old closer if it's not working out. Now, while all that's happening, money is coming in and new clients are coming through. Bam. It's as simple as that for pitching the call. Obviously, that was a summarized version, but honestly, the more simple, the better. You don't want to confuse these guys, especially if you're going after niches like HVAC, like roofers, pool openers, plumbers. Those guys are basically an emotional sell. If you tell them the ROAS they're going to get on their ads, or that the fact that AI can do 10,000 calls per minute, it's not going to, they don't give a shit. Okay, as long as they can see a direct ROI on investment and they can see that they're going to make money, then that's all that matters. They are a purely emotional sell, especially if some of them are dialing and doing the calls themselves. You can let them know how much time is going to be freed up to actually working and fulfilling and doing what they do best. So yeah, guys, that's everything that we use in order to do $38,460 in 9 days, and what we've been able to do in order to make over $500,000 selling AI. And listen, I get you. It seems like it's crazy. It seems like it's a lot. And in the beginning, my goal was to be making 10K a month online selling AI. And look at me now. You know, our goal is to be doing 6 figures every single month consistently. So I think the biggest believer and the biggest problem that people have is that they don't believe in themselves enough to think that it's possible. They've always been told it's not possible. You need to go to school. You need to have a degree. And I get it. Okay, it's hard to it's hard to break past that process and have everybody against you, even your own family, even my own dad, telling me that it's not possible, until obviously he sees the numbers, he sees the things I'm buying, he sees that I'm traveling places, whatever. And if you want to do the same thing, if you want to be in the same position as me, and you want a speed boost and you want to see results right away from somebody who's done it himself, I actually have a partnership opportunity where you can work one-on-one with my team. We help you scale your business, start and scale. If you have an existing AI business, no problem at all. We can help you scale it. If you don't have one, no problem at all. We can help you start it. There's a link in the description. You can book below. It's an application process. So it's going to be a call with me or my business partner, depending on who's available at that time. And if you are qualified, we will, like I said, partner with you. You'll work one-on-one with our team. You'll get access to our platform. You'll also get access to fulfillment with our engineers. So yeah, if you're willing to invest in yourself and you believe in yourself and you don't want to work a job and you want to escape the rat race and you want to be making these numbers, and I'll hit the refresh again because I know the haters, they can't fathom it. So then book the call below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.